Okay, so what I just noticed, and this is kind of huge too, is that it wasn't Jupiter that conjoined on Donald Trump's Uranus. It was a transiting node, Rahu, that conjoined Donald Trump's Uranus. So I just wrote it down because this is actually extremely important. So I want to list out what's happened because we have another cycle that's going on right now. It's lightning. Um, Let me start from okay. Like I said, today's the 18th, right? Jupiter conjoins Donald Trump's natal Mercury. Well, on December 20th, 2019, transiting Rahu or the North Node, it conjoined Donald Trump's natal Mercury. And that was the origins of COVID-19. It was December 20th, 2019. I believe there's a lot of news articles, underground news articles, there were news sources that was coming out. I think I tend to watch a news source called Marfugal News or Marfugal TV, and he was saying something about that around December 20th, 2019, that there was a big coughing or uh flu like sickness that was going around in China, and they put a lid on it, but it said things exploded. I think around like March 2020, but December 20th, 2019 was the beginning, was the actual beginning, I believe. And so the next date, um, uh, on it's shown that transiting Rahu conjoined Donald Trump's natal sun on October 15th, 2020. And that was right before the 2020 election. And I believe that's around the time that the Hunter Biden laptop leak happened. And so it's like the news covered it up. They pushed it under the rug and was saying that it was Russian disinformation. And all the while it seems like there was, and then also Biden, he called a lid on his campaign. So that was around October 15, 2020, when transiting Rahu conjoined Donald Trump's natal sun. And I think transiting Jupiter conjoined Donald Trump's natal sun, and that's around the No King's Day protests or whatever. And that's when Alex Padilla, he charged Christy Norm's press conference and ended up getting handcuffed or whatever. Um but also there was two lawmakers in, I think, Minnesota or whatever, that ended up getting killed by Tim Walz's his ex staff or employee or whatever. So that's when I think Jupiter conjoined Donald Trump's sun, and this is October 15th, 2020 was when transiting Rahu conjoined Donald Trump's natal sun. So on November 3rd, that was around the election, and that's when transiting Rahu opposed Donald Trump's natal moon. And that's when I believe there were some water pipes that broke in Georgia, which caused a delay in the results of the Georgia election or whatever. And so, what happened when transiting Jupiter, I believe, opposed Donald Trump's natal moon, is when a lot of stuff came out, but it's the only thing I really cared about was the Elmo tweet thing or whatever. So yeah, but I believe there was like there was some. You can't say the word fraud, can you? I already said it now, but um, there was some election irregularities that happened around November 3rd, 2020. So the last date, that was when Trans and Rahu opposed Donald Trump's moon. So the last date that when Trans and Rahu conjoined Donald Trump's natal Uranus, um, that was on January 18th, 2021. And that's around the time that the when Biden was installed into office. Um, yeah, and so let me see here. When is transiting Jupiter going to conjoin Donald Trump's natal Uranus? Okay, so transiting Jupiter conjoined Donald Trump's natal Uranus on April 12th, 2025. And I believe on April the 9th is when Donald Trump he signed several executive orders. And I think also see Obama had a progression of Saturn, and I believe Bill Clinton he had a progression of Saturn. So Donald Trump he did something around April 12th, 2025. I don't know what it was that could be shown us out of the transits like this, but yeah. So let's see here. So this is all just huge. So let's see here. So let me pause one more time.